Hey everyone, today I'll be bringing you guys a hero tier list from China. So this video will cover what I think are all the best and worst heroes in the game. Hope you enjoy. Let's first go over what all of the tiers will be. Starting from the bottom, I think these are all the heroes you should literally never pick. So it's like if you have 4 or 5 hero choices, you'll probably never be picking any. And then in C tier, we have the stuff that are playable, I guess. Don't really want to pick it. In B tier, we have the good heroes that you're definitely okay with picking. And then the tier above that, I figured because a lot of heroes are situationally good, they rely on a few specific tribes. I have to create a situational tier. And finally, the S tier is always pick if you see. And this is just what I think are the always pick. They might be different from what you think. I want to just start off by speedrunning all of the unpickable heroes. There's a lot of them in the game. Lady Vosh, more like Lady Trash. Dr. Holiday, I don't really pick ever. Toki, I'll never pick. Inj, I'll never pick. A lot of the heroes in unpickable tier are gonna be the ones that like do not generate UE. So like Inj doesn't, Toki doesn't, Holiday doesn't really because it's just RNG. Like if you give me a hero that doesn't generate economy, it better be something amazing. Daryl, I think is unpickable. It's just too poor of a hero. Alakir, I'll never pick. Sneed, I'll never pick. Deathwing, I'll never pick. Just all of the ones that don't really generate. Illidan is a bit better than the others because it works with Macaw. I still would like to pick it. Rag, I'll definitely never pick. Galakron, same thing, no economy. Lichbee technically has economy, but the hero is just so bad at it. Chamvala, I've never picked this patch, although some patches Chamvala could be good. In this patch, mid-game elementals are too. The only mid-game elementals are ballers and they don't have a hero power. Malagos, I'll pretty much never pick. Nini, I've never picked. Ozuma, I've never picked. Curator, I want to pick. So Cat is pretty bad as well. Tatalon is bad. Talon was okay with Librarian if you got that, but that's just an RNG strat. Blackthorn has no economy. Thorfang has no economy. The reason why economy is so important, by the way, is like it helps you just level to 5 as fast as possible with a decent board, and then you can start buying directional cards way faster than not. Enhanso, not picking that. Millhouse might be okay, honestly. Okay, let's not put Millhouse in unpickable tier for now, even though I've never picked him. In theory, Millhouse is okay in an economy lobby. Brucon, Mutinous. I know there's a Mutinous ally cast strat, but that's too inconsistent, and if you miss, your hero is trash. So I would not pick Mutinous. Just quickly. Oh, Rakanishu, definitely F tier, like Giga F tier. What a horrendous hero. Ashara. Let's put Ashara here for now. Definitely have not picked Ashara. Future Sight is definitely F tier. Rokar is definitely F tier. Kerrigan, I would even put F tier, even though you could stay on 2, but I would never do that. Artanis is F tier, no economy, don't really want to play into your thing. If you get Mothership, not that happy, and that's by far the best one. Let's see, this hero is F tier because no economy. Ysera, same thing. Cthulhu, same thing. Kael'thas. Kael'thas does have economy, but it basically doesn't count. Like, it's like 1 gold every 3 turns in the early game. That's just nothing. Jim, I would consider F tier. I don't pick him. Don't really want to play into a battle cruiser. Let's see. Low, I'll definitely never pick this meta. These are all of the really bad ones. Let's just Vol'jin, I would never pick. Carriol, I've never picked. Tavish, also never pick because no economy. And yeah, okay, that's all of the just no potential heroes. If I were to order it, I would probably value something like, I mean, they're all bad. Like, now that we have all the Giga F tier heroes out of the way, let's just go in order. So first we have Tess. Tess, I don't value that highly. I know you could steal Time Warp cards, but it's very inconsistent. A lot of the times when I pick Tess, like kind of hero powerless until you're dead, go fast 8. So I would definitely just put it in playable tier. I don't value her that highly. I do acknowledge though, a lot of heroes do love to play Tess, and part of this ranking is personal preference, but it's hard to not factor in personal preference. I majorly had bad experiences with Tess, so don't really want to value her highly. Hooktusk definitely on the lower side of playable and might even be unplayable tier because The only reason why you would pick Hook Tusk in the past is because of Alley Cat, and you can just generate minions on your board. Although right now you could just still hero power battle cries and she's probably okay. Marin I would definitely put in at least good tier. Probably always pick tier. I just love picking lesser trinkets. It's just a fun hero. And also Marin has a lot of really powerful lesser trinkets, so Marin's at least good, but I would always pick him. Ixxdeee is okay. It gives some economy. Like on turn 4 you get 2 gold most of the time, and on turn 8 you get like 5 gold because of Great Deal. That's like okay, it's not like crazy. Definitely lower end of playable tier. Panda, a lot of people would pick Panda and always pick tier, but I'm just gonna put him in good tier. I've had a lot more bad experiences with Panda than a lot of the always pick tier, but I do still pick him a lot because he's more on the fun side. Shudderwalk, I don't value highly at all. I don't know, I don't pick him that much. On paper doesn't seem that bad. You could just hero power Shell Collector every turn for 1 gold a turn, which is like bare minimum decent, and then later you could hero power actual good battle cries. But I don't pick him that much. Zephyrus, yeah, same thing. I don't pick Zephyrus that much. He's a bit slow. A hero that doesn't do anything early game has the tendency to just roll over and die, and Zephyrus is definitely one of them. Playable, but I wouldn't be too happy. Kurtrus is either playable or good. Let's put him at the top of playable tier for now. Kurtrus is mainly good in like a pirate lobby. You can buy Gambler for like a free minion. He does have 17 armor, which is a lot, and his hero power is insanely relevant in the mid game and the late game. So I think Kurtrus is probably better than playable tier. I would put him maybe low to mid good tier. Kurtrus is also okay at ballers, but nothing crazy. AFK is not that consistent. Maybe either playable or good tier. I would just put playable tier. Like when I see AFK, I'm not that happy to pick her. Even in a Naga pirate lobby, from my experience, it's like a 50-50 on whether you insta win or lose the game. And insta losing on AFK is like really bad. Like if you break your or drop, you might even be playing worse than just playing Indra or something. It might be worse than playing Patchwork. Okay, Tamsin is, first of all, only pickable in a beast lobby. Even so, she's not that consistent. Like the strat is to make your smallest unit really big, like make the hero powered unit really big and then proc it with Macaw. But it's not that consistent of a strategy. But at least she has potential. Alex is playable, maybe even unpickable, because I've never picked her because dragons are so bad. But historically, Alex has been decent, just because 1 gold discover a 4-drop dragon is just so strong in the mid game. But right now, dragons you really don't want it. I'll put Alex unpickable for now. Maiev is good. 17 armor with a hero power that can buy a minion for 1 gold in the early game. A lot of the times you're just ahead in the early game on a 17 armor hero, and then you can level to 5 on turn 7 really fast. So I'd put Maiev baseline good tier. Borden is okay, it's just playable. I definitely pick her over all of the unpickable heroes, but I'm not that happy to pick her. It's just easier to triple stuff, easier to high roll a bit. Also no eco, which is the main issue. Murzon goes in the always pick tier. I don't know how consistent he is exactly, but every time I see him I pick him. Sylas 18 armor is a great armor for such a good power. Like it's not the best hero power, but it does discover a minion every 2 to 3 turns, which is like good enough. Like that's like Galewing level, and this hero has more armor than Galewing. So Sylas is at the very least good. Lich King, I would put Lich King in good tier. Probably because Undead are a really good tribe right now, and Lich King's hero power does synergize with Undead really well. If you don't get the Undead stuff online, then Reborn Lich King at the bare minimum is decent. Like you just permanently run a Leroy on your board. Sylvanas. I don't have great experience with Sylvanas, but I don't think, like on paper, she's not that bad of a hero. Sylvanas is either like high playable or low good tier to me. Also, I'm starting to think this situational tier is a fraud, so I might just remove this. Okay, I removed the situational tier. Sorry about that. I thought I would put more things in it, but I don't think. It's just a waste of space. Back to the main topic. So Sylvanas, either high playable or low good. I'll just go with personal preference on this one. I don't value her that highly just because of consistency. Like, even if you're playing a certain comp, your opponent might just be playing undeads and completely grief your Sylvanas pool. And that happens way too often for me. So Nabundo, in my opinion, is 100% a baller hero. You must copy a Strike every turn and just play from there. I don't really value Nabundo in general outside of ballers, and even with ballers, he's not like the best hero in the world because you might just miss Strike Oil. So I'll put Nabundo in playable team. ETC. Well, ETC is an easy one. ETC is the best hero in the game, I think. I'll put ETC SSS tier, like the top of always pick. ETC is also the hero that won me NA versus CN, and I always do well with him in practice as well, so I'm really happy just picking ETC. There's so many combos, there's so many angles you can play with buddies that just are unfair and other heroes just cannot even compete. Xerac is a hero that I value decently. I would put him in low good tier just because I like maybe tripling into a direction and then hero powering it, or I like going 4-on-4 and hero powering a good 4-drop and playing from there. More fun than all of the playable heroes, I think. Voon I would put in good tier. Voon suffers the problem that sometimes he just gets rolled over and dies, but Voon's value is just off the charts. Like, if you can get to level 9 with 31 HP, copy or greater, you insta win. The problem is your HP might not be 31, in which case it's a bit sketchy, but I value Voon pretty highly regardless. Nozdormu is barely playable. It's like kind of 1 gold a turn, but the first 3 to 4 turns, it's not really 1 gold because the roll doesn't really do anything in the early game. You're still just buying a card, but later on it's 1 gold a turn, so it's kind of mid. It's never going to be that good. Snake Eyes is only in playable tier. 5 armor is way too little. Leveling on turn 1 is very strong, but not strong enough because you take like 1 or 2 10 damage hits and you're ready at cap, and that happens way too much on Snake Eyes. You just lose way too much HP way too fast because you have too little armor. Chromie is good tier, if not always pick tier. Chromie is very, very strong. First of all, you could just buy a lot of damage coins in the early game and just go ahead of the curve compared to every other hero. You can also buy a ton of strike oils, so you have hella economy. You can play ballers. Even if elementals are in, you don't play ballers and you just instantly stabilize with Hooktail or Nala or stuff like that. And you can get like a board state that is so much stronger than everyone else in the mid game with economy because you're buying strike oil. So I really like Chromie. I think Chromie is almost always a pick nowadays. Arana is economy, but it's really sketchy economy because you don't have a hero power the first 5 to 6 turns. I just roll over and die as a result. So I would pick Arana at the bottom of playable tier. Some economy is still better than no economy, so definitely not unpickable. Galewing's a good hero. Usually you go 3-on-3 and discover a 3-drop and then play from there, and that's a pretty solid line. But Galewing in good tier. Guff has economy, but very, very late economy. Like, his hero power only starts being a bit useful on like turn 8. Once you're on 5 and start discovering 6-drops, and it might be too late by then. You might be already dead because you have no hero. I'll put him at the bottom of playable tier because it has potential, but it's very sketchy. Jandis. Personally, I don't really pick Jandis, so I might just put Jandis in F tier. 18 armor, not the best hero power. Like, Jandis creates some broken interactions with some of the 7-drops, but that's not very consistent, right? Like, you're not getting a 7-drop most of the time. Bran. So next up we have Bran. Now Bran is okay, but I don't see myself picking Bran that often. I would probably put Bran low good or high playable because I don't remember playing Bran that often. Like, he always feels very too situational for me. Like, you need elementals and murlocs in because those are the only Bran tribes in the game, and it's kind of a tightest meta. I'll put him high playable for now, but in certain metas where Bran is way better, Bran might shoot up to S tier. Millhouse is probably borderline playable just because he's actually decent with like elementals and pirates in, so you can cycle stuff for free or plus gold. And you kind of have to force an APM comp, so just make sure it's an APM lobby. Flurgle, honestly, same deal, with exactly the same deal as House. You kind of have to force an APM comp, so it's situationally okay, I guess. They both rely on hitting Bran, or else the hero is just not good. Sire, we all know where Sire is gonna go. Sire is just Giga S tier. Sire might be the second Giga S. I would pick Sire over the other ones. Sometimes you can get really unfair quests. From my experience, the most unfair ones are Ethereal Evidence and Temporal Tampering. Temporal Tampering has always been OP, especially if ballers are, and then you just force ballers for the literal easiest first place of your life. So you always pick Sire for that chance of getting Temporal and instantly winning, but there's probably other broken combos with quests. Onyxia is one of those no economy heroes, so unlike the other no economy heroes, Onyxia's hero power actually scales and provides really good mid-game tempo. Obviously, you have to make sure that it's a beast on the lobby, but if it is, then because it's a self-scaling hero power, you'll probably not lose a fight with a good enough token early game, and you can level really fast and play from there. Jailer. Now, Jailer might surprise some of you if you haven't seen Jailer gameplay, but Jailer is Giga S tier. Jailer is so broken because of one card, Surf and Surf. So if you put a Surf and Surf Spellcraft on an Undead and you hero power it, you're just printing this crap every turn, which is actually so absurdly broken. You're literally 1 to 2 turns ahead of every other hero. And even if you don't hit Surf and Surf, you still, like, if you hero power a Bonehead on Tavern 1, you're guaranteed a Bonehead or Risen Rider, which you can hero power next turn, and you're just like already printing. It was pretty much an always pick, especially with Surf and Surf. Reno Jackson. Now, I personally just like Reno a lot. Reno's probably not as good. Like, Reno is the same thing as Zarek. You just triple into something and trip gold in it, or you just go 4 and 4 and gold in something. Not that consistent, but I like it. I like just chasing that free win direction. Like, you triple into a brand, it's just a free win. Hogger is playable tier. It does give economy, very inconsistent economy, but it is economy. Patchwork probably borderline playable. Like, it doesn't have economy, but at the very least it has 60 HP. It's not the best hero. It's definitely bottom of playable, but I would still pick Patrick over something like Daryl. I mean, honestly, they're pretty much the exact same hero. Exarch. So Exarch is also pretty bottom of playable tier. It does give some economy, 1 gold a turn, but you have to use it on spells, so it's like conditional. I would still value Murloc Holmes a lot more than Exarch. Yogg-Saron is just playable for me as well. On paper, it's okay, like 1 spell a turn. That's like 1 to 2 gold a turn, right? But not really. Usually it's like at the best 1 gold a turn. Like, sometimes you get Strike Oil and it's like really good. It's like 0 to 2 gold a turn from my experience. Like, it could also just grief your game and pointy arrow the shot, right? It could just taunt your Rivendare. I've had that happen. Like, if you just based it off my experience, it would be unpickable tier, but in theory it's not that bad. Cenarius is a solid playable tier because there's a good strat you can do where you just hero power every turn for like the first 6 turns and play ballers on 2, and it's pretty solid. If you play normally, it's also pretty solid. 16 armor is quite a bit, but I personally like the baller line more. It's pretty consistent. Rexxar is no economy, which is very concerning, but the hero power is decent. Turn 7 and onwards, you could just pop your time warp and sometimes go from there, but it's not anything crazy. Syndragosa, I would put Syndragosa in good tier. It's definitely miles ahead of Millhouse because from my experience, you can just find a time warp that proves the number of shop slots you have, which makes Syndragosa an S tier hero. Like, Syndragosa New Recruit is S tier, Syndragosa plus Chambala Buddy or Hogger Buddy is S tier, and if you get one of those lines, you're super happy. You just have a really good hero power. It's the same deal as Millhouse. You really want to be playing an APM comp on Syndragosa, so just make sure there's Ellie Murloc Pirates in. Xyrella at the very worst is playable because it's 1 gold a turn, and that's never really That's at minimum playable tier. I wouldn't consider her good by any means, just like fair. Terran. I know a lot of people value Terran very highly because it's an undead meta, and I would probably put him at the low end of good tier. I personally don't like the non-economy heroes that much, so like Lich King and Terran I would both put towards the end. But I do think they're definitely way better than usual because it's such an undead undead meta, and Terran benefits a lot of the top tier comps in the game. He just has a bit of a hard time getting there, but if you do get there, it's like the hero power is so insane. N'Zoth, same thing as Lich King and Terran. It benefits from the undead meta, but N'Zoth is probably worse than Lich King and Terran because I don't know. I haven't picked him personally. Maybe I have to pick him more. Finley is just by definition playable. It's like whatever. Can't really evaluate him. Akazamrak, I would pick him unplayable here. Like I would pick Akazamrak over all of the other unpickables, but at the end of the day, it's still a no economy hero, and it just gives you a poison most of the time, which is not good enough in my opinion. Cookie is playable at least. The only issue with Cookie is that it's 7 armor, which means that you go 3-on-3 and you start the game at like 20 to 25 HP already, which is like not that much to work with. So I don't like that part about Cookie, but going 3-on-3 and discovering a 3-drop on turn 3 is pretty solid. I would still pick Gale Wing more because Gale Wing is the same thing, but 14 armor instead of 7. Next up we have Scabs. Scabs is, in my opinion, playable tier. I don't value him that highly. I know you could steal Time Warp some of him, but from my experience, it's not that likely you steal a useful Time Warp. I would just pick him playable. Rafaam has just always been like the most average hero ever. It's just playable. It doesn't do anything crazy in this meta. Eudora is just playable. Golden 3-drop and into a 4-drop on turn 4, like that's fine. Crag is just not much to say about that. Edwin, I forgot to rate Edwin. Edwin is unpickable. Don't know how I missed him the first time through. Vandar I view as the exact same hero as Drekthar, so not much to say there. Patches, I've never picked, so I might just put him in unpickable tier, but in theory Patches is a lot better than the other unpickables. It's just also unpickable itself. Togwaggle is just playable tier. Togwaggle's main strength is that you press a button and fill out your board, but Time Warp already does that usually. Like Time Warp, you buy 1 to 2 minions and your board's already full. So Togwaggle doesn't have that much edge over all of the other heroes now, because all the other heroes can just fill out their board as well. Gallywix is kind of broken in like a Murloc Pirate lobby. This is why I created this situational tier that I removed, right? It's simply just for Gallywix, right? Gallywix is either really good or really bad, and most of the time it's really bad, but in a Murloc Pirate lobby it's really. So I wish I could put Gallywix in situational, but because I removed it, let's just put him in good tier. Yasharaj is mid, but at least it's 2 gold by a minion. At the very least, cannot be that bad, and it does have 18 armor. Like at least you're still printing money, and I like printing money so I can level fast. Omu is just playable. The problem with Omu right now, the 6 armor, like a lot of these heroes like Cookie and Omu, their hero power is great, but they're just so unpickable, or like they're so much worse than they used to be just because they have 6 and 7 armor, right? Like if you swapped the armor of Galewing and Cookie, well suddenly Galewing and Cookie would swap places. And if you swap the armor of Galewing and Omu, like Galewing and Omu would swap places, right? Like all of these hero powers are like similar power level. They're all generically good hero powers, but the armor kind of makes or break how good these heroes are. Greybow goes in unpickable tier because no economy. Can't really force beast or undead without economy. Your power is not that good. Draxus does print economy, so it's at the bottom of playable tier, but I'm not that happy picking Draxus just because I don't really want to play demons. But last meta, Draxus was one of the best heroes in the game. Just depends on how good demons are. Pyramid is basically the same thing as Yasharaj. You go buy a minion, like you're filling out your board in the early game for cheaper. So at the bare minimum can't be that bad. George, I never pick, so I'll just pick him unpickable tier. No economy. Also, nowadays, like, a lot of heroes can just Divine Shield their whole board. Like, there's so many Time Wars that can do that. Next we have Thorum. I'm honestly down to pick and always pick tier, but probably not because it's not that consistent. Like, the difference in power between some of the 7-drops, like, the difference in power between hitting and missing is kind of huge. But when you hit, you really hit. Like, when you hit tier 7 mech, you really hit, right? You really win the game. When you hit Seawitch or Sanders and just snowball economy from there, like, you really win the game. But the problem is, I've had some games where I had the best option was like the 9/9 rally guy. Amalgam feels really bad. Because of the consistency issues, I'll put him in good team. Phelan. Phelan's always just gonna be playable, nothing special, just generically playable. Buttons I'll put in the bottom of playable. I don't like buttons because first 7 turns without a hero power, like unlike Marin, which is first 4 turns, first 7 turns without a hero power, I just get you killed. Also, greater trinkets are kind of lacking in general. Racking's in the same boat as Pyramid and Yashraj, but it's probably a bit better than them because you're more likely to get something you want because of the discovery. It's not like that much better. Maleficent. On paper, it's playable, so I'll put it at the bottom of playable, but I personally don't pick Maleficent. 1 gold, discover a Corotron. Pretty much the only use case where, right? And if you miss a Corotron, it's just like module reborn. Okay, paper. Elise is playable. Elise is never going to be that good. Like, you hero power 3 times, it's pretty decent value in the mid game, and it can help you search for direction. But after that, it doesn't really do anything. So it's just fair. Okay, it's just a couple of discoveries, nothing that like Galewind can't do. Murloc Holmes by definition is playable. I'll put him at the top of playable tier just because it's solid 1 gold a turn. That's already better than like most heroes, honestly. 1 gold a turn. Murloc Holmes is generic 1 gold a turn, whereas something like Exarch is situational 1 gold a turn. Now Stormu is also situational 1 gold a turn. But even then, I don't value him that highly. And that's all of the heroes. Hopefully that didn't take too long. And hopefully you'll find some use case out of them. Let me minimize my cam so you see the whole tier list clearly. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you disagreed with anything. At the end of the day, it is my opinion and your opinion is your opinion. Can't really invalidate anyone's opinion. So let me know if you thought anything was interesting, and I'll see you next video.